Hey there, it's good to see you again. I hope that you're doing well. It is pouring down rain here, but I thought such a fun time to sit down and chat with you about where I am with my Steel in the Light palette for Pan That Palette. So thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video and see where I am. But one of the things I feel like I need to preface, I talked about this last month, but this round of Pan That Palette has really been about facing old eyeshadow and the effects of old eyeshadow. So my palette is going to look different, dramatically different even from last month, because, you know, like I mentioned before, with this Stila palette, not just my Steel in the Light, but my Steel in the No, I've really dealt with the effects of old eyeshadow, old deteriorated eyeshadow. You know, shades crack, they flake. They still have their pigmentation, which is making the stubborn side of me want to continue panning what I can. So I am still working out of the palette, and as far as where I am with it, I'm gonna be able to finish my Steel in the Light easily before the end of the year, because I did have a lot of love in it, and so since I have, you know, it depotted into a Z palette with my Steel in the Light, my Steel in the No, I've got a smattering of Too Faced shades, Urban Decay, and some Bare Minerals. I'm gonna continue working out of this Z palette for the rest of the year. So without further ado, here is where I was for the month of June with my Stila in the Light palette. And here is where I am currently. Big changes. The biggest one you can see is the obvious absence of bubbly. That shadow, it was a beautiful gold. I loved that shadow. But sadly, one day when I was using my makeup, I had my palette angled up just enough where the whole thing slid out in one piece onto my counter. And I thought, you know what? I love the shadow, but I've got so many other golds in my collection, I'm gonna let it go. So I went on and tossed it. I've got this backup shade, I believe it's Chase maybe, from the Urban Decay 15th anniversary palette. So if I want a gold, I figure I'm gonna go on and just use that. As you can see, I've made huge progress in Sunset. I've really loved wearing that in my crease area with a shade like Flow, or if you have a sparkly champagne shade, or the L'Oreal Infallible and Iced Latte on the lid. And then I go through with this matte white highlight, pop the mint in my inner corner, and it's just easy summer, beautiful look. I love it so much that when I'm done with Sunset, I've already looked through other palettes to find reciprocal shades, so that I can go on and continue panning these other shades that I'm working on. So love this, because like I said, it's gonna be really easy for me to finish Steel in the Light before the end of the year. So as you can see, I have hit pan on Gilded Gold. I'm working on Clay for my Steel in the No palette, and I want to talk about these two shades, because this shade right here, Driftwood, if you have dark hair, it is a wonderful shade to use in your eyebrows. I also use it to line my lower lash line if you want something very easy, not very dark, and it works with just about any eye look. But the one I really want to highlight over here is the shade called Rain. If you want a great contour that is not in your face, but a little bit warmer than going with something like NYX Taupe, this is incredible. As you can see, because of it, I've been able to make really major progress. I'm using the Sonia Kashuk version of the NARS Ita brush. I take it on the back side of my cheeks to contour. I do the sides of my nose, a little bit under my chin, and a little bit up in my temples, and then I blend it out with a shimmery bronzer on top just to kind of lighten up the lines so you don't see these harsh effects all over my face. I've really loved it. The other change you can see from last time, I did have some of Ebony in this top pan, but I didn't have that much. So when my son was watercoloring and he ran out of his black paint, I went on and mixed this in. It works really well. If you have deteriorated eyeshadow that you don't want to wear, it works really well if you have kids that want to paint. So that's how that got used up. I moved into my backup pan of Ebony down here to continue setting my liners, and that's just how I'm working through the palette. Like I said in my June update, I really it sucks dealing with the old eyeshadows, so I'm making tons of progress because I've had to scrape off some of the top layers. And then as you can see, like some of them, I'm hitting pan really fast. Like I finally hit pan and Iconic down here. This is one of those Bare Minerals Ready shadows. I've hit major pan and flow. So I'm hoping that I can have that moved out within the next, I don't know, 2 to 3 months. We'll see how much progress I can make in another shade like Sunset. And then the other one I've made huge progress in is Velveteen Bunny. This is from the original Too Faced matte palette. I love it as a highlight, and I also use it on my face as a highlight. I love matte highlights with glasses. They work really well. They're very flattering, and it's not stark, because I know shimmery highlights under glasses, it can look pretty, but it can also be way over the top, because when you have that glow under your frames, it looks really weird. If you have nearsighted lenses, just it's not my thing anymore. Especially as I've worn larger frames and things, like it looks a little off if I wear shimmery highlights. So matte highlights have been something I've really loved, and eyeshadow is perfect for that. So that's where I am with this palette. And then, you know, as far as the rest of the year goes, like I said, I'm going to continue working out of this as we go, and then, you know, we'll see kind of what I pull from for other palettes for that back up to Sunset. But I'm already looking at panning a look similar to the Matte Call of the Wild quad from the Tribal collection, because that's how I'm going to get through that gray and gold and the rest of the matte white, and then kind of a corally shade. Or I might just go on and use a brown and go with this Too Faced Tufted Suede, I think is what this color is. I don't know, we'll see. So it's been a great month. I hope that you are continuing to enjoy painting your palettes, that you're having fun shopping your stash. Like I said, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video. I wish you all the best as you continue painting, and I look forward to seeing you very, very soon. Catch you later.